How did you, use failure as more of a motivator? How did you accept it better or accept losing better? Because, some people, especially a black belt, when you get that black belt, like the illusion of perfection, back in the
illusion
day,
of like you're a master.
You know what I mean? Like you see a black
all.
belt, especially like when you started or when I started, it's like, oh my God, I'm training with purple belts, and you see a black belt or two belts, you're like, those people are like untouchable,
like walking on clouds.
Yeah. How did you deal with like failure, like as far as being more receptive to it and moving past it more quickly?
Well, early on, it started off as simply just you get used to it, you become numb to it, right? Like you just accept it as like a foregone, like this is going to happen. Especially as like my young 20s, like I was a purple belt, and I was like, look, this is going to happen, and I found from my coaches making me go towards my mistakes, the more I embrace those mistakes, the better I got.
Yeah.
So it's like so instead of looking at it as like such a negative thing, just embrace it and run with it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to happen, and you can fight against it all you want to, but it's going to happen. And then the whole like self-love thing, which again, some people they laugh at that kind of stuff because it sounds like you're some hippie or something, like, oh man, you got to love yourself, bro.
I think you have to, man.
But you have to. Like it is what it is. And it doesn't mean that I'm sitting in a room like hugging myself and falling on the floor or something. It just means that like when the inner dialogue that we all deal with at some point, that wants to basically just beat myself up. Yeah. It's more of like what are we going to do about this? So for instance, if it started with a mentor who was like, you told me to do this, told me that, right? But at the same time, like, think about it this way. If I watch myself lose a match, instead of saying, you lost a match, you big stupid idiot, what the hell's wrong with you? Why did you do that? That's so stupid. God, like, that kind of stuff. It's going to say like, now, what did you do wrong? What can you do to fix it? If you went against this person tomorrow, or if you were to do this thing with the business tomorrow, what could you do to fix it?
What could you do better?
What could you do better, right? And, I've done this. This is, tons of times. I remember there was a match I was talking about earlier that the guy watched, that I put it on the video on the YouTube channel. Yeah. Went against the guy in the first, in like April. And in April, I lost to him by like an advantage or a point or something. And after the match was over, I looked at it, made some very clear mistakes. I was going to fix those. Went against him in August, beat him because I fixed those mistakes. Very, very simple. There was a little business project that I had going on a couple of months ago. Literally 2 weeks apart. Tried this little technique of sorts, and it flopped. So, well, damn, it didn't work. It's kind of a bummer. Made a couple tweaks. Tried essentially the same technique with just a few modifications. Worked like gangbusters 2 weeks later. Right. So begin just taking that feedback. So instead of looking at the failures as a bad thing, it's just feedback. I'm just looking at it as feedback. Because again, unless I stop doing it, I haven't failed. I fail when I stop. Right. If I'm still going, it's just feedback. Exactly. It's giving me course correction, giving me a little nudge towards, hey, this is the direction you need to work towards because here's where you're sucking.